What happens when the father of mixed martial arts meets its most famous son? On one side, we have Bruce Lee, the dragon, the man who broke tradition to create the ultimate fighting concept, Jeet Kune Do. He was a philosopher who turned the human body into a weapon of mass destruction. On the other, we have Conor McGregor, the Notorious, the two-division UFC world champion who proved that precision beats power and timing beats speed. This is not a movie. This is not a sparring match. This is a cold, hard look at physics, biology, and violence. Can the ancient techniques of the dragon survive the modern evolution of the cage? We have run the data, we have analyzed the styles, and tonight we find out who truly owns the fight game. To understand this fight, we must understand the timelines. They come from two different worlds, yet they are eerily similar. Bruce Lee was a street fighter first. Before the movies, before Hollywood, he was fighting on the rooftops of Hong Kong. His style, Jeet Kune Do, was created for one purpose: survival. No rules, no referees, no time limits. His philosophy was to be like water, formless, shapeless, adapting to any situation instantly. He believed that the ultimate fighter should have no fixed style. Fast forward 40 years, Conor McGregor is the living embodiment of that philosophy. He studied boxing, kickboxing, karate, and jiu-jitsu, blending them into a unique, fluid style. In 2015, McGregor was untouchable. He moved like a ghost, using a wide karate stance to control distance, sniping opponents with a left hand that seemed to carry a death touch. In a way, McGregor is exactly what Bruce Lee predicted the future of martial arts would look like. But there is one major difference. Bruce trained to win rounds and titles under a unified set of rules. Bruce trained to end a life in seconds on the concrete. Let's look at the tail of the tape. This is where the debate gets heated. Conor McGregor, in his prime featherweight form, stands at 5'9", weighing in at 145 pounds of lean, fast-twitch muscle. But his biggest weapon is his reach, a massive 74 inches. This allows him to strike opponents without getting hit, earning him the nickname the Sniper. Conor is an elite athlete conditioned for 25 minutes of high-intensity combat. Bruce Lee stands at 5'7", weighing around 135 pounds. He's smaller, lighter, and has a shorter reach. On paper, Conor has every physical advantage, but numbers can be deceiving. Bruce Lee possessed a strength-to-weight ratio that was almost superhuman. His speed was not just fast, it was blinding. He could land a punch in 0.05 of a second. While Conor is precise, Bruce is explosive. Conor hits like a sniper rifle. Bruce hits like a machine gun. However, the durability factor favors the Irishman. McGregor has taken clean shots from world-class killers like Chad Mendes and Nate Diaz and kept moving. Bruce Lee's chin was never tested by a 4-ounce glove-wearing professional knockout artist. If Conor lands that left hand, can Bruce stay standing? This is the elephant in the room. The one area where modern MMA has evolved light years beyond the 1970s. Grappling. Conor McGregor is often criticized for his wrestling, but that is only compared to elite wrestlers like Khabib. Compared to a striker, Conor is dangerous on the ground. He understands leverage, chokes, and positional control. Bruce Lee knew about grappling. He studied judo and jiu-jitsu under Jean Lebel. He knew how to grapple, but he was not a grappler. His entire strategy was anti-grappling. Keep the distance, intercept the entry, and strike before the opponent can grab you. If this fight goes to the ground, the simulation is over. McGregor would suffocate the dragon. Bruce's only chance is to keep this standing. He needs to be the matador, not the bull. Before a single punch is thrown, the battle begins in the mind. Conor McGregor is the king of psychological warfare. He breaks his opponents before they even step into the arena. He mocks their heritage, their style, their families. He makes them angry. And when a fighter is angry, they make mistakes. But would this work on Bruce Lee? Bruce was a stoic, a philosopher. His mind was trained as rigorously as his body. He preached emotional content, but practiced absolute calmness. "Empty your mind," he said. It is unlikely that Conor's insults would penetrate Bruce's focus. In fact, Bruce might see Conor's aggression as a weakness, a disruption in the water that he can exploit. This is the deciding factor. If we put these two in a UFC octagon with a referee, rounds, and rules against groin strikes and eye gouges, Conor McGregor wins 9 times out of 10. The sport is designed for him. But we're not in the octagon. We're on the street. The surface is concrete. There are no gloves, there are no rounds, and most importantly, there are no illegal moves. This changes everything. McGregor's wide karate stance leaves his front leg vulnerable to Bruce's oblique kicks, a technique Bruce popularized which targets the knee joint to cripple an opponent. In a street fight, Bruce's dirty tactics, finger jabs to the eyes, strikes to the throat, become the great equalizer against McGregor's size and grappling.
The fight begins. The atmosphere is tense. McGregor comes out in his wide, bladed stance, hands low, confident. He starts talking, trying to bait Bruce. Bruce Lee stands in his classic on-guard position, silent, constantly moving, shifting his rhythm to confuse McGregor. Conor fires the first shot, a spinning back kick to the midsection. It's fast. Bruce parries it, but the power pushes him back. McGregor smiles. He realizes he is stronger. He presses forward, looking to land the left hand. Bruce realizes he cannot trade power for power. He switches to the intercepting fist. As Conor steps in to throw a jab, Bruce snaps a low side kick directly to Conor's lead knee. Crack! Conor stumbles. His movement is compromised, but the Irishman is a warrior. He ignores the pain and lunges forward, closing the distance instantly. He eats a punch to the face to get inside and clinches Bruce. This is the danger zone. Conor wraps his arms around Bruce, looking for a takedown. He wants to slam the dragon onto the concrete. But this isn't a sport. As Conor tightens his grip, Bruce doesn't try to out-wrestle him. Instead, he drives his thumb into Conor's eye socket and stomps violently on Conor's instep. The shock of the pain forces McGregor to loosen his grip. Bruce spins out, creating distance. Both men are breathing heavy now. Conor is bleeding from the eye. Bruce has taken damage to the ribs from the clinch. Conor, now angry and half-blinded, rushes in for the kill, swinging wild, powerful hooks. Bruce drops his stance. He waits for the overcommitment. As Conor throws the left cross, Bruce ducks under, executing a perfect counter. But instead of a punch, he delivers a finger jab to the throat, followed instantly by a hook kick to the temple. McGregor's legs give out. He hits the pavement. The fight is over. So, what does this tell us? In a regulated sporting contest, the evolution of MMA is undeniable. Conor McGregor's size, durability, and grappling knowledge would likely be too much for the Dragon to handle over 5 rounds. But combat is not always a sport. Bruce Lee designed Jeet Kune Do for the chaotic, unfair reality of the streets. He didn't train to score points. He trained to inflict maximum damage in minimum time. His willingness to target the eyes, throat, and knees gives him the edge in a no-bars wild scenario. McGregor fights to win. Bruce Lee fights to survive. In the end, the student has evolved, but the master still holds the keys to the deadliest gates. The winner in a street fight is Bruce Lee. but the legacy of both men lives on in every fighter who steps into the cage today.